In a peaceful little village, there stood an old, modest school where an elderly teacher named Srimant Babu taught generations of students. Despite being nearly 70 years old, he continued to teach with unwavering passion and dedication. He was not only wise and experienced, but also deeply respected by his students for his honesty and commitment. Over the years, many students had come and gone, but among them, two stood out for their talent and potential: Rabi and Sujan. Rabi was exceptionally hardworking. He spent countless hours poring over his books, memorizing lessons, and believing that success could only be achieved through intense effort. In his eyes, hard work was the only path to a better future. He dedicated himself fully to his studies, never allowing distractions or shortcuts. Sujan, on the other hand, had a different approach. He believed that while hard work was important, it wasn't enough on its own. Sujan understood that to succeed in life, one must also be strategic and smart. He believed in using intelligence and thoughtful planning to make work more efficient and meaningful. Both boys were bright and determined, yet their philosophies were different. Rabi followed the traditional idea that more effort equals more success, while Sujan believed in working wisely to achieve better results with less wasted energy. Their contrasting views on life and learning set the stage for an important lesson that would later shape their futures. This difference between hard work and smart work would eventually become the heart of a life-changing test given by their beloved teacher, one that would teach them, in us, a timeless lesson about the true path to success. Although both Rabi and Sujan were talented and determined students, their personal lives were very different, especially in terms of family background and daily responsibilities. Rabi came from a middle-class family. His parents supported his education fully and ensured he had everything he needed to focus solely on studying. He had access to books, a quiet place to learn, and plenty of time. His only duty was to do well in school, and he poured all his energy into it without having to worry about anything else. He believed that as long as he worked hard every day, success was guaranteed. Sujan, in contrast, came from a poor farming family. His father, Harlal, was a struggling farmer who worked all day in the fields under the hot sun, trying to make ends meet. Sujan had to help his father with farm work from morning until evening. Despite the exhausting physical labor, Sujan still made time for his studies every night. Under the dim light of a kerosene lamp, with a tired body and a hungry stomach, he opened his books and pushed himself to study. One evening, as Sujan returned from the fields and began studying, his father, frustrated and worried, asked, "Why are you wasting time with those books? We're poor. Studying won't change that." Holding back tears, Sujan quietly responded, "Father, I know we're poor, but if I don't study, we'll remain this way forever." His father sighed deeply and said, "Education is for the rich. How will I pay for it?" Sujan's voice trembled as he replied, "I don't study for money. I study because I believe it's the only way to change our lives." That night, Sujan did not sleep. Despite the obstacles, he continued to read with determination. He had little time, few resources, but big dreams. His hardship and resolve made his motivation even stronger. He believed that education was the path out of poverty, and no matter how hard life was, he would not give up. One day, the wise teacher, Srimant Babu, gave Rabi and Sujan a final test. He asked them to climb to the top of a steep mountain and bring back a special flower. The student who returned first would be declared the winner. Both boys accepted the challenge eagerly, ready to prove themselves. The next morning, Rabi began his climb immediately. He ran up the mountain as fast as he could, pushing his body to the limit. He was sweating and exhausted, but refused to stop. Rabi believed that pure hard work and persistence would help him reach the top first. Sujan, however, took a different approach. Instead of rushing, he paused to think. He asked an old man if there was an easier way to reach the summit. The old man smiled and told him about a narrow path behind the mountain that was less steep and shorter. Sujan chose this smart path, saving his energy and climbing more efficiently. In the end, Rabi struggled with the difficult climb and arrived at the top completely exhausted. To his surprise, Sujan was already on his way down, holding the flower. Rabi was shocked and speechless. How could Sujan have reached the top before him? This test showed them that hard work alone isn't enough. Smart work matters too. It was a powerful lesson that changed their understanding of success forever. When both Robbie and Sujan returned to their teacher Srimant Babu with the special flowers, the teacher smiled warmly and began to explain the true meaning behind the test. He looked first at Robbie and said, "Robbie, you worked extremely hard. You never gave up, and your determination is admirable. But you only relied on hard work. You climbed the mountain directly without searching for an easier or smarter path. You believed that more suffering and effort alone would lead you to success." Then he turned to Sujan and said, "Sujan, you used intelligence and looked for a better way. You saved your energy and took the narrow path behind the mountain. But remember, always choosing the easiest way isn't right either. Success requires both smart work and hard work combined." Robbie, with tears in his eyes, admitted, "Guruji, I understand now. Hard work alone is not enough. We must also use the right strategy." Sujan nodded in agreement and said, "I also realize that success does not come without effort. Taking shortcuts all the time is not the answer." Their teacher placed his hands gently on their heads and said, "This lesson will guide you throughout your lives. To truly succeed, you must balance hard work with intelligence. Working smart without effort is meaningless, and hard work without smartness is inefficient. The secret to lasting success lies in the perfect balance of both." This moment was a turning point for both boys. They learned that success requires dedication, patience, and intelligence together. Years later, this lesson shaped their futures. Robbie became a great scientist who combined hard work with strategy, and Sujan became a successful entrepreneur who never forgot to put in effort alongside his cleverness. Many years later, Robbie and Sujan returned to visit their beloved teacher, Srimant Babu. Although the teacher was now very old, a peaceful and satisfied smile graced his face. Both former students stood before him, full of gratitude and respect. Together they said, "Guruji, your final test changed our lives forever. It taught us the true meaning of success." Srimant Babu's eyes filled with tears as he replied, "I always believed you both would become great because you understood a simple but powerful truth. Success is not just about working hard or just working smart. It is about finding the perfect balance between the two." Robbie, who had become a great scientist, reflected on how he learned to balance his strong work ethic with smart strategies. Sujan, now a successful entrepreneur, credited his achievements to the combination of intelligence and effort. They both agreed that neither hard work alone nor shortcuts alone could lead to lasting success. The story of Robbie and Sujan teaches us important lessons about life. Hard work is essential and builds discipline and resilience, but it is not enough by itself. Without smart planning and intelligent decision-making, hard work can become inefficient and exhausting. On the other hand, relying only on shortcuts or easy paths without putting in effort leads nowhere meaningful. True success requires patience, persistence, and wisdom. It means working diligently while also thinking creatively and strategically. The perfect balance between hard work and smart work opens the door to greater achievements and personal fulfillment. This timeless lesson encourages us to stay motivated, keep learning, and always make wise decisions. No matter what challenges we face, combining hard work with smart work can truly change our lives.